This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
It is Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie. It's your Wednesday podcast today. Kate is venturing down the elderly road with this break, aren't you? What do you want from these oldies over here, Kate?
I'm not venturing down the elderly.
Well, you guys are older than me, so I'm sort of out of this conversation.
You look the oldest, though.
You're
physically.
I don't know if he
bald.
looks the oldest. He looks the tiredest.
Yeah,
he does.
3 children.
That haggard look.
I don't think getting old is a bad thing.
No.
And I don't. Maybe we don't even say old. We're aging, but as we do progress and we grow more wise, there are things we just can't. We're just not going to cop anymore.
Lisa told me off for pooing in the bath the other day. Said that's just something kids do.
Children do.
And I'm too
But you
old
know
for
what?
that.
Just ask the kids to get out. You don't have to poo to clear the room.
It's an easy joke, and it doesn't really.
Oh, it
doesn't
works
get a laugh.
beautifully.
It is.
Doesn't get. Well, you got a bit coming out of your mouth at the moment.
Oh,
Enjoy the
mate.
podcast.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Mate, I'm so glad you brought up an update on Pitbull. We hadn't spoken about Pitbull for a while. We don't get it off Pitbull on this show.
Jeez, you know what? I've lack of Pitbull music and Flowrider music, Tom, on Nova
Oh, my
really
God.
gets me down.
If you could only choose one, I shouldn't have done that too.
I would go the chinos, topless chino bloke who's bald, because I'm
you want a bald?
gonna go the guy that's bald.
Yeah, okay. So you're a Pitbull man.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yo! What is he? 305. Do we know what that means?
Yeah, that's Florida, isn't it?
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. 305!
He would have that
Oh.
tattooed somewhere on his body, and let me tell you, I wouldn't mind finding out where it is.
Upper left thigh. It's definitely the upper left thigh. The other day he came out and explained why he doesn't use Apple products. Have a listen.
Look, I'm not religious, man. I believe in God. But one of the stories out of the Bible, one of the most famous stories is what? It's Adam and Eve. What did Eve bite? She bit the apple. Look at the logo on your phones. It's a bitten apple.
Explaining why he uses a BlackBerry. We went on to let Pitbull know the only two people using BlackBerries are Pitbull and Richard Wilkins.
Just a quick update.
Yeah, what do you
Sorry,
got?
we're on Mr. 305, guys, just a correction
Yeah,
from
sure.
Pitbull fans. It's the area code for Miami.
Miami!
Yeah,
So if you ring Miami, you
Yeah.
start with 305.
Exactly
Mr.
right.
305.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So I'd be like
it's
Mr. O2.
That's not bad.
O2.
Or why can't we start doing it with our mobiles?
Yeah.
Mr. 0404.
That's hot. Mr. 0413. Do you know what? Mr. 305. Here's an
Mr. 0418 in the house.
Cool, just use your last 4 digits of your phone number. What's great, though, because I like to take a lot of my life advice from Pitbull, and even talking about him the other day, I was then spurred on to see what else Pitbull's been up to. He's got a new slogan for life. Have a listen to what he thinks.
All right, Mr. 305. Here it is. Well, here's a good one for you. I just learned the other day. Ready? Yes, sir. Life is not a waste of time, and time is not a waste of life. So let's stop wasting time, get wasted, and have the time of our lives. Mr. 305.
You got to be quick. Can we hear it again, Jess? Because I'm going to get it tattooed on my back.
All right, Mr. 305. Here it is. Well, here's a good one for you. I just learned the other day. Ready? Yes, sir. Life is not a waste of time, and time is not a waste of life. So let's stop wasting time, get wasted, and have the time of our lives.
What a great way for as you're preparing for a big night out. Just someone just yelling that out in the Uber. Uber driver would love it.
Give me one margarita. You know what I mean? I'm ready, Mr. 305. Come on for Mr. 02.
So good. If he's still pumping out stuff like that, my gosh, man, we're in for a good time. What if you could book your hotel now and choose to pay when you get there?
With thousands of flexible booking options in select stays, you're only a what if away from your next holiday.
Book on the What If app. What if it's Aussie for travel? What are you too old for?
Oh, God, I've been asked not to build sandcastles in the nude at the beach. Lisa said you're too old for that.
So you put in a sand pit at home.
What about
I'll do 8 hours a day. Have a look at this, Mum.
Dad's in the sand pit again.
Again?
It's very
Don't go
uncomfortable.
out there.
Sand all in all those
Oh,
cracks
my
and
God.
crevices.
Sandy
I had a
cracks
mate-
at Bondi.
Coops went down the skate park with the kids the other night, and he decided to get on the skateboard himself. And another kid has come out of as he's skating along the ramp, another kid's come out of nowhere. And to avoid hitting the child, he's quickly diverted off his skateboard, rip the hamstring off the bone.
no.
Rip the hamstring off the bone.
But I love he did what all grown men will do, is blame the child, and he just need to save the
Wasn't his
child.
fault.
It wasn't him. He
No.
wouldn't have normally come off the skateboard. I think there is a point in your life where you start realising that maybe there are things in your wardrobe that you can't get away with
your
anymore.
boob tube that you always wear.
Do you know, at 45 years on this earth, I've never worn a boob
Haven't
tube.
you?
On the
Did you?
weekends, you
I
do.
have to get 2 boob tubes and sew them together.
Did you have bubble gummers, the jeans? Do you remember bubble gummers
No.
jeans?
We had the
What are they?
shoes growing up, bubblegummer shoes.
Yeah, right.
What are they?
They're
Well,
good brand.
they were sort of like a cord jean, weren't they?
Bubblegummers.
Yeah, I remember girls. There was a girl that I loved in primary school who wore bubble gummers.
Oh, no, I don't know anything about them.
Not-
I have had to hang up the old... I
Yeah,
bought
what's
a
in your
beautiful... And I'm still hanging on to it, and now it's made its way into my 9-year-old's wardrobe, because I think maybe she'll use it for a dress-up party or a disco or something, and I'm starting to realise the older she gets, she'll probably just put it on at 12 and think she's going to a nightclub.
Right.
But I bought a great sequined mini skirt from All Saints in London when I was there doing panto once upon a time, and I never had the courage to wear it. I would put it on and then I'd get it
Too
off.
short, you thought?
I thought it was a bit too short. Maybe the legs weren't good enough, and then and now I realise maybe I've passed the point of being able to wear
Tomorrow
it.
on the
as
show.
many sequins as Tommy's vest today? Or?
But not in that crutch area.
No. Okay, I want you to break it out. I want you to believe in yourself and know that you still can do that. Fitzy went through this a while ago. Remember, Fitz? You went back and forth with the idea of a leather jacket. You finally launched, and you looked great, mate. But I haven't seen too much of the leather action.
No, I heard you talking about this on the show yesterday.
Got a leather jacket from All Saints.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
They do a great leather jacket. I had a leather jacket from All Saints stolen from the Coogee
That was
from the
that was the
pavilion.
jacket. That's the one Fitzy's wearing.
Oh, is it? I thought I noticed. I recognised the quilted shoulders.
Yes,
That's
Coogee
him.
Bay Hotel.
Yeah.
I remember it. I had a big day. I left something in a bowl of ice cream and I left with a leather jacket.
13, 24, 10. What are you too old for? I mean, there's a list here they've put together on Reddit, and you've got your usuals: lack of sleep, and I think it's just you get a bit tired and emotional and just a bit old, and you just don't want to put up with stuff anymore. One of the people commented, and I never knew that this was a quote from Keanu Reeves, but I love it. We could all live by it. He gave an interview about growing older, and he said he protects his peace by refusing to argue with anyone about anything. So he said, 2 + 2 is 5. You are correct. Have a nice day.
Yeah, gotcha. that would actually upset people more. When you go, you're correct.
You can have that.
Well, because people who like to argue really like to argue,
They do.
and they really hate people that won't engage in the argument.
too
So
true.
if you just smile and kill them with kindness, it's often the best way to win. Older people, they just don't like drama. There's people saying that they're not into social media. They've hung up those kind of boots. They're sick
Okay.
of looking at other people's lives. I think during the song you mentioned you're too old to talk about celebrities. And what was the other one?
That my
What was the other one you were too old for?
running around nude at the bus stop.
No. There was something
I
even
can't
more
remember.
raunchy
Do you know what
that
my
you've
wa-
stopped doing at work.
Do you know what my wife did the other day? She said, I bought us a treat today. And I went, oh, great, what do you got? She bought us 2 toffee apples. I haven't had a toffee apple since I was 5 years old.
So
That's
overrated.
But no,
Toffee
I love a
apple.
toffee
Oh,
apple.
me
And
too.
my dad really likes
Overrated.
them. He's 70 odd. And if I go to one of those fruit shops that still sell the
Yeah.
toffee apples, I will always buy him one.
Wrapped in the cellophane.
As a treat. We
Oh
will
my
go to the
God.
phones, but can I just mention there is one that I love and I am in agreement with. You're too old for going to concerts with not assigned seats.
General
You know what
admission.
I mean?
Yeah.
I need somewhere to sit. I am not standing. Adam in Penrith, what do you think? What are you too old for?
I'm too old for going to nightclubs at, to the early hours of the morning with all the young'uns. So I can't do that.
It's-
I was
how-
going to a Christmas party,
Yeah.
and I went till about 1 or 2 o'clock. But that's it. Like once the thing finishes, it's like game over. Can't go out with the young'uns.
How old are you, Adam?
47.
47.
47, yeah, you can't. I think we're definitely past the stage of going from one nightclub to the
another
next.
one.
Yes, that's it, definitely.
Hey, Adam, what about this? There's plans for New Year's Eve happening at my place at the moment, and the idea is, this conversation was ridiculous. Well, Lisa said, well, once we've seen the 9 o'clock fireworks that they do for the kids, then we can call it a night. And I went, hang on a minute, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're not having a cup of tea at 9.
I have been to sleep before. I put myself to bed before
If
midnight
we're
over the
doing
last
it, we're
few
doing
years.
it. We will watch the midnight fireworks.
When you find yourself in a bar at this age, there is a moment where you look around, you're having a conversation with someone, having a great time, and then there's a lull, and you look around and you go, I don't belong here anymore.
Oh,
No, I know.
I don't belong here.
We're not even of the age where you're out and then you see people that your kids go to school with.
Yeah,
That'll happen.
They're like, oh, there's May's mum in a sequined skirt.
She's still got that thing on. I heard she hung it up 10 years ago.
Mason in Oakhurst, what are you too old for, Mace?
Good morning, legends. How are you?
Good,
We're
Mason.
good. We're good. What you got for us?
I bought a lot of Pokemon cards because I used to always go over to my brother's, and then I used to open them with my nephew, and then he started to lose a lot of interest in Pokemon cards, and so then me and my brother kept doing it.
Still
and
doing
then,
it,
and then I started actually grading them and getting them graded out of 10, and then so
Mason,
I don't know if I'm too old for Pokemon cards.
If it
but
makes you feel any better, we went I went to see the toy store, Uri, the guy who works there, and the kids wanted a box of them. It was $190 a box, and I said, we're not paying that.
No.
I said, who's buying this stuff? And he said, blokes in their 40s.
Yeah, massive. We tried to cash that one card in that Pokemon card, remember? And it had a tiny little dent in it. We didn't get the money for it. But there was a lineup. We had to line up 45 minutes.
Wow.
To go into the computer, and there was a lineup, and a majority of there was one guy in his 50s.
Pokemon trade.
Yeah, and two blokes in his 30s.
I've
And
never understood Pokemon.
They just had piles of cards.
Oh, my God. Pokemon
and then they
trade.
just trade them in, and then they get more.
Weren't there adults chasing Pokemon around the city?
There were, and Tommy was dressed as, who were you? Pikachu.
Yeah,
one
Pikachu.
time.
Yeah.
Which one's that? Is that the yellow?
the yellow
yellow
one.
He's
yeah.
so cute.
Yeah,
He got
so
tackled
cute.
to the ground and split his head open, unfortunately. It was a bad day at work for Tom.
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork. For,
Yeah,
when
but we
you get
fixed it up.
tackled.
We got through it. You right now?
No, not really. Can we talk about it during the ads?
Well, we've got a psychiatrist for you just outside the studio.
Too old for therapy.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Tell you what about that punter yesterday? I think WA Fitz turned $2 into $100,000. I think he had the first four. If you don't mind on the Melbourne Cup, what are the chances
Well,
of
the
that?
prize pool for that is quite large, but for you to pick the first 4 out of 24 horses.
In a Melbourne Cup.
Oh, Andrew in Sutherland Shire. What did you want to talk about, Andrew?
Win Wednesday, win the week.
Drew.
You got it, Drew.
Hey, I was listening to the radio this morning. You guys were talking about on the other radio station when that lady had to make car noises to win a prize.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if I can beat her, but I can give it a crack.
Oh, what do
is,
you do,
is it
Andrew?
a certain type of car, Andrew?
I've got no idea, mate.
Okay, what do you
I
got?
reckon I can just make a lot of noise like
Yep.
a V8, but...
All right, Andrew. Here we go.
Right, let's give it a crack.
Take it away. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. That was a big V8. That was a 5-litre, Andrew.
Boys.
Oh, that was a Holden. That's a Holden 5-litre.
Andrew's very bored on the way to the work site this morning. Drew.
I'm at work now.
Oh,
good
he's
work.
already there.
Well done, brother. Well
Thanks,
done.
Andrew. Great work.
Let's go to Anshu now in Penrith. What do you want to talk about, Anshu?
Hi, good morning, Fitzy. Good morning, Wippa. Yeah, I just want to talk about the Glenn Maxwell inning. You said last night one of my mates sent me a message, Aussie, 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 bye, 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 and I'm gonna send him the message this morning, and just tell him how incredible this inning was. Like standing on a one leg, and he's scored like 201 runs. That's the most remarkable inning I've ever seen. So to me, this is one of the best. And then I'm gonna give a hard time to my mate this morning when he wake up.
Can you write back Aussie, 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 more, more, more?
Yes, definitely. And then once they win the semi-final, I'll definitely go for Glenn Maxwell Australian of the Year, mate, this year.
Oh, geez, a big call, Anshu. Well, he didn't do himself any favours last week after he had a couple of beers on the back of a golf buggy and knocked himself out. He couldn't play against England. But he's now redeemed himself by making 201 runs. If you've just woken up, the Aussies have got over the line. They were going to lose. They were going to lose against Afghanistan, and Glenn Maxwell's come out and made 200 runs.
What a great story.
Sabrina in Greenacre, what do you want to talk about, Sabrina?
Hey, boys. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm just ringing up because I was one of the 700 callers who called yesterday for the book, and I was just wondering if you could send me a copy because I'm so desperate to get my hands on it. It sounds like such a riveting read, and I really want to know what happens, but can you personalise it to me?
Oh, you want me to sign it for you? Well, here's the thing, Sabrina. We only just got sign off for at least 500 books from Nate in marketing. Yeah. So what we're going to need to do now, and Sabrina, you might have an idea, we need a front cover. What should go on the front cover of the Far Too Personal Trainer?
You need something. You need some dumbbells.
Yeah, that's good.
You need a bare-chested, tight, booty-shorted personal trainer.
Okay, so almost like Tim Robards yesterday, if he was doing a bicep curl.
No,
just
I think you need to be on the front. If you've ever seen a Mills and Boon book as well, I think yeah, what they use is like a who's the most beautiful man in the world? They used Fabio, but then it's sort of like it's a drawn Fabio, you know, it's like an animated kind of Fabio. So you'd like a sketch of me. I don't think I make the Fabio status. Yeah. Sabrina,
it's a drawing. It's a drawing. Yeah. They can do anything to you.
Yeah, we've done that before here at Nova, and I end up with 5 chins. Sabrina, are you part of any book clubs or anything like that?
No, I'm just an avid reader, and then, just part of, like Dimmick's book club and things like that.
I mean, if I got you a copy from my laptop before we hit print, maybe you could have a read and give me a review.
Oh, yeah, I'd so do that.
Okay. Sabrina, stay on the line.
Pages?
How many pages? 260.
Excellent. I'll do that in one night.
That's very spicy, Sabrina.
Well done, Sabrina. You've got rid of one. You've got 499 to go. Matt in Penrith, what do you want to talk about, Matt?
Oh, g'day, guys. Wednesday wins the bloody week, legend.
Whispers going around that you did win yesterday. What did you win, Matty?
Yeah, look, it was a whirlwind of emotions yesterday in the Melbourne Cup because me and the missus jumped in the sweepstakes at the gym.
Yeah.
I got the winner and she got the one that's still out there running somewhere.
Which you actually, if you get last, I think you get paid as well in the sweep, don't you?
Yeah. So I got $500 for first off $50, and she got $50 back.
Oh, Matty. How good's a sweep at the gym too? You know what I mean?
Oh, shit, bloody ripper, guys. Too good.
Oh, what a treat, Matty. Thanks for calling, mate.
Well,
I've been up with a broken stomach.
Oh, jeez, we've had a couple of good tradies today.
Oh, Matty, thanks.
Do you know what? Andrew in the Sutherland Shire, his car noise, you've earned yourself some Event Cinemas Gold Class tickets. Drew! Woo! Anyone on the work site you want to take to the movies with you there, Drew?
No, sorry, mate. I'll have to take my wife, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. No, there's some great movies out there at the moment, Andrew. Give movies this Christmas an Event Cinemas gift card. Buy now in cinemas or online at eventcinemas.com.au.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about the Melbourne Cup yesterday, and more importantly, the big dance, which was followed, I didn't know, which was followed by the barn dance.
Is that right?
Yeah, the big
and then
dance.
The Nutbush.
The next race is called the barn dance.
No, it's
I
not.
loved a barn dance when I was at school. I used to go to the bush dances.
Did you boot scoot?
I did. Well, I went to an agricultural school, so we'd put on our RM Williams or our Blunstons.
Go and get the chicken leg eggs.
And I remember someone called Jason Pearce asked me to dance when I was in year 8, and he was in year 12, and I just thought I was the luckiest girl in the whole wide world.
Well, actually, it's funny you should bring that up, Kate, because there is a fashion trend that has become quite popular, and I didn't realise this until James Weir wrote an article about this, that men are wearing, it's called the uniform.
Okay.
And what it is beige pants, navy blue blazer, you've got the brown leather shoes, a white shirt and just a tie. Now, at the track yesterday, it was everywhere. Beige chinos, Blue.
First time I went to the races in year 8. That's what I wore.
I think it's a private school thing.
I
Isn't
think
it? Or is
it's
it a country thing?
It's a country thing.
It's a country thing.
Everybody
I
wore
think
it.
it's very rural. You could even, you can get away with moleskins at the...
moleskins, the pants.
I had another boboyfriend at high school who wore moleskins.
I loved
and
moleskins.
a Nakubra.
Jeez, we found out a lot about you with previous... Well, you've had a PT, you've had an Ironman.
This is extraordinary.
I've had some honesty juice or something this morning.
I welcome it.
What is going on? No, I didn't even have a bet on the race yesterday. To be honest, I don't even know who won. Who was it? Zara?
No.
Without a fight?
Without a fight,
okay.
yes.
Did you guys have a bet?
Yeah, I had $10,000 on Without a Fight.
No, you didn't.
Man, and it came in, you little beauty.
Fashions on the field didn't seem to be
Are you allowed to
as
do
big
that
as
these
it used to
days?
be.
Oh, absolutely.
Who
you
looks
do,
good, who doesn't?
I think you do. Well, it's
way-
not about who looks good and who doesn't.
Well-
It's more about how you can... it's
off.
about the creativity and how you can pull a stylish or creative look together.
article
I mean,
I-
some people sew their own.
Okay, the article I saw last night said fashion fails. And then it went through every woman at the track that they thought had got it wrong.
Oh, yeah, but
and who are they to say so?
Is that the Maley Dale?
Yeah.
of
Well,
course
they all do. I did have a look on the on that one, just at a few of them. I have to say, I'm a fan of the Derby Day fashion because you can't really get it wrong. You've got your black and white.
Yes.
You can go a mixture or one or the other.
Yeah.
Melbourne Cup, I think traditionally, correct me if I'm wrong, is like, it's spring racing.
Party mode.
It's floral. It's colours. It's like taking a chance with fashion. But I have to say, I mean, and not that I am
You
one
don't have to say.
criticise. Well, I do have to say, I didn't even want to do this on the radio, but Tommy said you're doing fashions.
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna,
have to.
You're going to do the fashions. I thought, that'd be right. Paint me into the nasty little female
Kate,
corner
can
of
I give some-
commenting on what people look like.
Can I give you some advice?
You give advice.
The advice is don't think about it too much because if you think you're looking good, you rock up and you'll always get trumped by Delta Goodrum and Dan McPherson. For fellas, he always looks better than you ever will, so you can never beat him. And ladies, there's always someone else that's done up even more. Well, I mean, Delta
look,
yesterday.
Delta was...
Mate.
I mean, not many people can wear that much yellow
I know.
and pull it off. She looked incredible. I think she wore... it was a designer that I hadn't heard of before, but it was a designer that also did Kate Waterhouse's beautiful
Kate Waterhouse.
frock. She always looks incredibly
Nailed it.
stylish.
Best dressed.
But she also... I mean, she's a stylish woman, but she would have a lot of,
that's
you know,
right.
people bringing these looks together.
Well, she has her own. She has her own stylist, doesn't she?
I think she does. There was a lot of red. I'm looking at a photograph here of Sam Armitage.
See, Sam looks nice.
She went floral.
She went fruity.
Like tropical, I would say.
Well,
that is.
that looks like a sort of a summer dress.
I just want to talk about the everyday punters, you know, the ones that just go to politics to go get themselves a suit. Or what's the
beauty.
cheapest dresses that you can get these days? What stores are we going to these days? Sports Girl still around, Kate?
Well, I don't know if you'd buy race. I don't know if you'd buy race attire from Sports Girl. I know a lot of people hire their frocks these
Do they?
days.
Yeah.
Those is it Glam Corner or
I don't know.
I know everyone for the formals.
So
just because for no one who can afford a $1,000 dress
For one day.
but they might be able and not wear it again.
Yeah.
They can rent it for $200 or something and then have it dry cleaned and send it back.
Do you know
it's
what?
an investment.
I saw some of the footage today, and Fitz, we were talking about this. The shorts on the gent, shorts and a jacket with a shoe.
There were a couple of men that rocked up to the Flemington race course. I liked it.
Campbell Brown.
Yeah,
did he do
Campbell.
shorts?
He
Do you
did
know
it as
what?
a protest.
He did it as a protest and at the same time because he would have been so lazy, he would have thought, if I can have the legs free, I'm into that.
Yeah.
For sure.
But there was a man that had a tailored suit that was a tailored short.
Yeah. Well,
See,
I think that's what you have to go. Yeah,
With a
you
hem.
you have to. Yes.
A short with a hem.
You have to go a tailored short. They're not asking
No.
you to wear or telling you that you can
Cut-off
wear a
denim.
board
Can
short.
any big names? Usually they fly over international guests for the Melbourne Cup. Nobody there.
I know in the old days, I mean, they had the Damons there at Derby Day on Saturday, but I think they went of their own accord. I know in the old days when Channel 7 used to have the races races, they'd have the big marquee and we would all go down and they'd have the likes of, I remember when Paris Hilton was flown out.
Carson Cresley, I remember one year.
It was just like, it was the big deal to have the international star.
Who pulled out? Was it Solange? Was it Beyonce's sister?
No, she turned up, but she wouldn't do any interviews. And if she did do an interview, you weren't allowed to ask her about Beyonce.
Tough.
So no interviews?
Not here to talk to you, love.
Paris Jackson came out one year, I think.
That's right. And Blanket.
Gee, I tell you what, Natalie Imbruglia did a good job with the national anthem. Nailed it again.
I didn't see that.
She killed it.
Tom just said Princess Diana's nieces dazzle racegoers with a matching red look.
Yes, that's right. There was a lot of red. They were on the front of the paper as well, and a lot of people were wearing little minis.
Tracy and Sharon, I think it is.
No,
for you, your Western Sydney boy who rock up to Randwick yesterday, or even get to Flemington and make the trip over. Your chance to maybe pick up Lady Eliza or Lady Amelia Spencer. That is a princess in the waiting.
You wouldn't be anywhere near them. They would have their own area. You wouldn't be allowed to touch them.
And not doing interviews or answering questions about Diana.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Rod Stewart, he's done all right for himself, hasn't he? Bit of a revival, Rod Stewart.
Brock and Rod? Is he back, is he?
Well, he struggled there for a while, and then he's just had a resurgence. And people love him. He's still touring.
Tell you who his biggest fan is? My wife. She loves Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
It was quite a surprise for me when we first got together when I said, why don't we put some music on? What do you want to hear? Rod Stewart, please.
Have you got Sailing in the system there, Jess? I mean, that's one of the greatest songs of it all. Remember Rod Stewart, the last time he was here in Australia? He rocked up to the model train.
Loves model
shop
trains.
Out at Western Sydney.
Apparently his home setup is wild. He's got tracks running through the entire house.
Him and Elton have done quite well for themselves money-wise. So Rod Stewart in 1997 bought a Ferrari F50. He didn't mind it.
Hot.
I mean, he's got a huge garage. He's only driven it around to the point where he's only done 18,000 kilometres on the odometer.
So just to confirm, it's a real Ferrari, not the toy version like the trains?
No, it's real.
It doesn't...
Yes.
Okay.
So, 18,000 kilometres, bought it in 1997, forgot about it. How much did he get it for? So he bought it for $665,000.
Back in 97.
In 1997. The bids for it at the moment, it's up for sale. $4.5 million with 7 days to run.
Got to be kidding me.
There's Rod in the Ferrari himself. I mean, it's one of those old school Ferraris. I mean, it's
like the Testarossa,
brand
isn't
new. He forgot about it. He didn't even know it was in the garage.
18,000 clicks. You know, it happens all the time, doesn't it? When you buy a Ferrari and then you forget about it. To me, it's super yachts. I often buy them and then I can't remember where I've parked it.
It's like, I was thinking the other day, iPhone 1, first generation. I mean, how easy would have it been at the time just to buy one and leave it in the box?
Yeah.
Why can't we just buy something and just leave it in the box and forget about it?
Because you want to use it?
Because it was affordable to everyone at the start.
Yep. Same as the iPod.
Yes.
The iPod, the original iPod now, boxed, is worth a fortune.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how things go through a resurgence of interest. Like, I think the original Nintendo or the Nintendo 64 fits.
Yeah.
If you've got one of those unboxed, through the roof.
Luke Skywalker in the 70s, first Star Wars, late 70s. If you've got one of those Luke Skywalker little figurines still in the box, worth $87 now.
Wow. Do you know what I bought once? I bought through the Trading Post. I made Mum driving around and pick it up, the collector's edition of When Superman Died comic book. Now that is worth a fortune.
What number is it? What comic is it?
The one.
The number one?
Well, the one where he died.
He died in the first comic?
No, the one where he died. It was fake. I spent money on a fake. It was a reprint edition, got me a beauty. I'm still chasing that guy down.
I'd love to hear from anyone. If anyone's got something super rare collectible still in the box.
Yeah.
Haven't taken it out. Some people do it. I mean, some people just...
At the moment, there's like that crockery getting around that your parents used to use or your grandparents, and everyone, you see those articles that turn up on the Maily Dale saying, check your cupboards now.
Yeah.
If you've got one of these, it could be worth $97.
Have you got this china plate from 1876? No, because we didn't hand it down from generation to generation.
Well, you should have.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Interesting one, guys. A doctor has come out and spoken about the 7 stages of breakup that we all go through when our heart is ripped out of our chest. And we've all been there, guys. It's thrown on the ground and stomped on. And you go, man, that hurts. Yeah. I can feel that. And I miss you. And I'm angry. And how could you do that to me? How could you not love what I am?
It physically hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that I like to get everything that reminds me of that person.
And do what?
And I'll take it out to the backyard, and then I'll just go get some unleaded, and I will douse it in unleaded, and
oh my gosh,
straight up. Oh, they're still in there. Sorry,
sorry, you're still wearing my hoodie, are you? I had no idea you were there. Sorry about that. Stage 1, of course, in the breakup is shock and denial. So it's a lack of accepting what's happened, Ryan. That's where we all go through. How could you do this? Yeah, shock. This doesn't make sense. We're perfect together. That's what you think. My reality's different to yours, unfortunately. Stage 2 is the desperate need for answers. When you start to look back and analyse that relationship.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, why did she want to go to Vegas on that girls' trip when it was my birthday?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's not you, it's me. That's always a good one, isn't it?
I do it the opposite. It's not me, it's you. It's definitely you. Stage 3 is fear and loneliness and sadness. The doctor goes on to explain that these don't go in just that order. Sometimes, Fitz, you can go from stage 3 back to stage 1. So you might be getting down to fear and loneliness, and all of a sudden you're back at shock and denial.
I didn't mind being lonely, though. There was always an element in a breakup where you'd be a bit disappointed with it, but then you always realised, oh, man, I've got my place back to myself.
How good is this?
Awesome.
Remember the time I told you that I went through a bad breakup and I went to see this psychiatrist, and they said, you know what? You need to snap yourself out of this. Go out on Saturday night with your mates, have a few drinks, try and kiss up to 5 girls.
What?
Just terrible
Who's your
advice.
Psychiatrist?
I don't know. He was there as well. He was trying to.
Oh my gosh.
Which was even weirder.
I need a wingman. What are you doing Saturday?
Failed on the first one and went home lonely. I went straight to stage 3. Went back to loneliness.
And that'll be $300. Thank you, Mr. Whitford.
Stage 5 is anger. It's where you need to let it out.
Yeah.
You need to go, you can't have me if you want me back. Well, you could, but...
Scream at the
where
walls.
You want that phone call. You're hanging for that phone call that goes... I made a mistake. Let's get back together.
No.
It never happens. 6 is peace and acceptance, right? That's where you say, okay, this is what's happened. Stage 7 is what we all work towards, and that's forgiveness.
Yeah.
No. Don't worry about forgiveness. Look at Lizzie, who's in the studio shaking her head. There is no such thing as forgiveness. You will have a black mark on your name for the rest of your life.
You can forgive, but you can never forget.
Can you? Well, forget equals forgiveness, doesn't it? Don't you need to be able to go, all that pain you put me through, I'll let that go. I'll let that go, and I'll give you forgiveness. Yeah. You sinful beast.
Well done. Are you preparing yourself for this list, or what are you doing?
You sinful thing, what you've done to my heart. Oh, sorry, I'm still at the anger stage of my previous
the movie
girlfriend.
7. It's the 7 deadly sins over here.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm just living it at the moment. We'll move on.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
He is a bit of a character, and you need characters in the industry, right? Music industry, sporting industry. Des Hasler is a real character in the NRL.
Good hair.
Yeah. He's great hair.
Cracking hair.
Do you know what? When I have hair envy and I'm bald, I look at Des Hasler and go, I'd love to have Des's mate.
Des and Wippa.
You can kind of shake it like that. He coached the Sea Eagles for a long time.
Yeah, he's up at the Gold Coast Titans now, Kate, and, you know, they haven't had success, so Des is up there, and he's a bit of an old school. He's got old school traditions and methods, the way that he coaches, but next to the oval where they're training, he's built this huge tent. And he calls it the dojo, and no one knows what it is. It's like a huge canvas tent, and no one knows what they use it for. Des came out yesterday and told everyone what he uses it for.
Can you talk to us about your decision to build the dojo on site here and I guess the plans for the pre-season?
Yeah, not to be completely honest, it's a side business. Yeah, it's a function centre. I do weddings. I can bury you. I do funerals on the field. I can spread your ashes, and I'll undercut any wedding venue in the Gold Coast. Yeah.
Des is doing a type 5.
He's having a laugh, isn't he?
I know, I love it.
Is he doing any sort of karate or?
It will be. No, he's called it the dojo, so there must be some kind of martial arts in there.
Man.
But now he's just kept everybody's interest up because he will not give it away.
He would be a good celebrant. He would. He'd get married by Des Hasler.
Yeah, he'd have a couple of stories if he laughs.
you.
Do you know what? He reads out your vows or whatever, say I do, and then he gives you a motivational speech, into the future.
For your
I
wedding
think it's
night.
a great idea.
Maybe. Then you run out onto the field of life.
Field of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That wedding night is certainly one hell of a wrestle,
We
isn't
didn't
it?
need to go there. It's called a scrum,
You didn't need to.
I think.
It's called a scrum.
I don't think they have scrums
Who's
in
got a
NRL
dojo? I
anymore,
think
do
yours
they?
was called the No-Go, wasn't it? Whip?
No.
Thanks for listening to the pod. We actually do have an extra little podcast, and it involves traffic dating.
Oh, Francesca.
The lovely Francesca trying to find love. Check it out now.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.